What's good? What's good? Welcome to the Epic Entertainment Critics. I'm Antoine.
And I am still James.
And we got a epic podcast ready for y'all today. We are doing some, we are keeping up with our TV show reviews. And you've got to turn that off, the sound. Yeah. Anyway, we keeping up with our TV shows reviews. And we are doing a movie review today, Tremors, Shriek Island. Wasn't a good one. And it was not an easy watch. But we're doing it for y'all. We watch it so y'all don't have to. But before we do that, we got an intro. All right, we back. Like I said, we are keeping up with our TV show reviews, and the first show we doing today is Fargo. We do it Fargo season 4, episode 5. We already did our little. This distracted me. We already did our review for last week's show, and it's like we already said, this was a damn good show. Yeah. I love this show, and this was a damn good episode. As you see, I got a picture of Dr. Sennett up there, and I'm gonna tell you why later. He played a big role in this episode, and it's something that I wasn't happy with, but I knew something was gonna be coming sooner or later, so it's like one of them, you got to deal with it. Because it's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, especially a show like this, right?
Yeah. So anyway, we're going to jump into the episode, man. And as you know, the last episode, we got the black gang and the Italian gang. They not at war yet. But we know this is a real uneasy alliance, and it's a matter of time before this war about to kick off. So, in the last episode, Josto told
Loy.
No.
Oh, you talking about when he was talking to?
He told Otis to round up the black gang, put some pressure on them.
Yeah.
So basically, Giotano. What's his name?
Gaetano.
I call him Giotano. His brother, the bigger guy, but that's his younger brother, right?
Yes.
And he and so he kept he wanted to make moves, and he was making moves, getting ready to start war, and this kind of started a feud between them. So Josto was like, I'm gonna handle it my way. So his way was, this show kind of started off, Josto pretty much had all the Lloyd gang locked up, like legally. It was kind of like he bust all their operations and had the law come down on them. Yeah. So that was like his way of doing it. And then he was talking to Giotano. What's his name? Giotano. He was talking to Giotano like, this is how you do it, and he really couldn't say nothing. Because it's like, he basically, and his plan was, if you ain't got nobody to go to war with, then you should go back home.
Right.
And I don't know if that's going to work out for him. You know what I'm saying? His strategy. I'm not mad at his strategy, but the thing is, his brother's so unpredictable.
Yeah.
That's what what his plans is.
Well, also, from the way I read it, his brother doesn't care whether his way works or not. He wants a war.
Right.
One, he just got out of a war. He wasn't done fighting. Mm-hmm. So there's that. You already got to contend with that. And then you drop him into a new place with a clear enemy. Mm-hmm. All he wants is to go to war. So you're not going to convince him, hey, look, war is not good for the family. No. What I do is good for the family, and what I do is war. So war is good for the family.
Right. Well, see, and then Rabbi Milligan said to him, like, would you go back home? Ain't nothing there.
Right.
It's all money here. He want to stay here and he want to take over. So he's going to make his move. So if you don't make your move, it's going to be a wrap. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So the war, the feud between them is going to hit that boiling point. Now we was figuring this is good for the Lloyd gang, the Cannon gang, but it's things that that's going to happen that's not good for them. So okay, now as I was saying that Lloyd had Josto told Otis, which the cop with the OCD, to bust all his operations or whatever. So in the middle of that, Lloyd kind of was taunting Otis about his condition, but he gave us backstory on the reason why he's OCD or whatever. How'd you like how that story came out, or just the story of he was like a minesweeper in the military in World War II?
Yeah,
and this is why he's so jumpy.
I mean, it's one. It does explain, why he works the way he does, why he has the tics he does.
Right.
I do feel a little weird about the way we get that being from Loy.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure why Loy knows about it.
Right. I'm guessing that somebody like Dr. Senator made sure he had information on everybody he was dealing with.
Right.
And, he kind of knew a little too much detail about his what happened. Instead of he didn't vaguely say it, he said in detail exactly how the incident happened in World War II or whatever.
Like, I would have rather we got that exposition from someone a little closer to Otis, who's supposed to have some information on him, or to get that info dump in a less charged situation.
Yeah.
Because, it feels like the one thing you don't do when somebody's got a gun on you, especially a jumpy dude, is to start saying, boom! Every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
But,
which I did enjoy that taunt on him because every time he said boom, he kept jumping.
Yeah. Like, even the last one, he's like, boom.
Yeah.
And he's so...
Right, yeah. He still jumped even when he stopped getting loud. It was funny. But basically, he was a minesweeper in World War II, and an incident happened where people died. And I guess that's the reason why, I guess before he opened the door, he has to check it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's exactly what he's doing, but that's have something to do with his little
if nothing else, it's probably
thing.
I suppose the inciting incident behind that manifestation of his nervous disorder.
Right. I mean, I'm sure that's where the order come from, to saying that whole knocking 10 times or whatever before you open the door. It's probably, I'm guessing that's how he used to check for mines or something like that. So it's like since he can't stop doing it now, because because of the incident or whatever. So that was interesting. I like that. I like that dynamic because I was already waiting to find out why he had those tics or whatever, and the story kind of makes sense.
Right.
But like you said though, coming from Lloyd, it's like, how do you know this and how do you know it in such detail?
Exactly.
Because later on in the episode he explained it, and it was almost like, Lloyd knows the exact story that he was sitting down and looking up in the clouds or whatever when he was supposed to be checking mines. Like, how do you know that? If you did like a raid or file, you probably just said, "Oh, you didn't do your job." Yeah. That's all you know. You don't know exactly what he was doing.
That's all you would know. You wouldn't like. One day he just lays down in the grass. You wouldn't know all that.
Yeah, I know. So I mean, I ain't gonna say that's sloppy writing, but it's like because
it's a little too convenient,
right? But so anyway, we know that we know Otis' history now. Why is those tics or whatever? So at this point, the Josto made his move on Lloyd's gang, and they kind of like they're in the impasse or whatever. So we move on to After Reader. So that storyline where we last saw her, she found a lot of Olietta poison and trophies. She figured it out what she is. She figured it out that she's a serial killer and been killing patients. Which I'm like, I know she figured it out, but how does she really know exactly what she's up to?
Yeah.
I mean, she's smart though. That they made sure that she's smart.
Uncommonly so too.
Yeah. Well, see, she's a little too smart for her own good, in my opinion. Because she come across as one of them people that's smart, but she feel like it's almost like a little smug smartness. Like, I'm the smartest person in the room. I know more than you, whatever, but she's young, but her.
Well, like I got that. I got that feeling from her first voiceover.
Yeah.
When she's talking about, my problem was not that I was disruptive. My problem was, it's like, okay, you one of them.
Right.
I should know I was one. But like, even when she ends up going against one of our other characters later on, and she tries to come back at him with that civilized. Well, did you know that Africa is the birthplace of civilization? And then he came back and was like, oh, please, no, sir, please.
Right.
Like it's just like when folks come at you with that energy, it's like you just want someone to back them up off they high horse a little bit,
Yeah, and we got so basically, like I said, she wanted to stop Olietta. So what she basically decided to do was like she wanted to see if she should, so she was kind of unsure. So she talked to her dad. And he's an idiot. We established that.
Right.
What's his name?
I don't remember.
Mr. Smutney.
Yeah.
That's enough.
Mr. Smutney.
Knowing his name is Smutney. I can't remember his first name, but knowing his name is Smutney, I already know
his
that
first
he's not.
name is so not.
And I don't want to disrespect nobody that name is Smutney, but that just sounds like a dude that just Mr. Smutney.
Well, this episode gives him the only smart line he had for the whole show, though.
What's that?
Maybe this Olietta isn't someone you should be spending time around.
Right. He told her, I think she poisoned that pie, whatever.
And he said it's so casual.
I know, and it's like, why didn't you going over there whooping her ass?
You could have done anything. You could have gone over there and given her the business. You could have called the cops on her. I was like, yeah, I think that lady poisoned our pie. That's crazy, isn't it? Right. Anyways, you have a good night, sweetheart.
So she don't know exactly what she want to do. She don't know if she want to, tell on Olietta or whatever. So she go talk to her aunt about it. Why do you need to talk to her? I don't know. I guess she don't know that how bad her aunt is.
I mean, because that's her current role model, I guess.
Okay, yeah. And somebody had came up with something so like maybe she's want to go down that path of being, and we could talk about what's their names, Zamaria and Swanee.
Zamar and
Swanee, which these are the two. This is I don't know. I can't remember. I just call it Ethelrita aunt. I can't remember the mother name.
Yeah, me neither.
The mother's sister. So these were the two girls that broke out of jail, the two lesbians, and she went, pretty much asked her, if somebody do something wrong, what should I do? Why would you ask another criminal this? And she said nothing, because we outlaws, and we ain't criminals, we outlaws, and they gave this whole speech on how they live outside the law and all that. It's like, okay. Sound to me like you just trying to make excuse to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what's going on with them, and so she kind of make up her mind. And actually, I don't even know what Ethelrita came out of that. Like when she, I don't know what she's gonna do. But I think that that conversation made her think that she's gonna take
matters into her own hands.
In her own hands.
Yeah.
She's not just gonna call the cops or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think that's where it came out of that.
It'll turn out great.
Right. So, like I told you, the Cannon gang got busted or whatever. So they end up grabbing his son too. So this gave his wife got involved, and this was when he gets home, his wife's like, I gotta go get my son, and he told him no, it's handled or whatever. And this was this big confrontation with his wife about, how you gonna let this happen? What? And I'm like, I was thinking like, now I understand her being mad her son got arrested, but the fact that how you act like you don't know your husband is I guess he's a crime boss.
Yeah.
So he's a crime boss. He's not just a petty crook. He's the boss of all the crime of the black people in Kansas City.
At the very least, the lion's share of it.
Right, in Kansas City, organized crime in Kansas City, or how you like not know that it's going to be consequences or whatever. It's just funny how it's just, they want to complain, but it's like you got to know this is going to happen sooner or later,
Because it's like you told her, like, you like that fancy coat you wear?
Yeah,
you
so
like
he
the
gave her a
house we
speech.
live in? Because this is where that come from. So if you got a problem with it, then you got to walk away from it. Like, and I think so often...
Mm-hmm.
Can I get a mm-hmm? But so often, like in these kinds of narratives, you have like the oblivious spouse who isn't aware that they're with a crime boss.
Yeah, but see, I don't buy that. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't like that you thought he was a businessman and he came home and lied to you every day, and you thought he was just out there working or something. No, he's a crime boss.
Exactly.
And this can happen. So, I know you want to put your foot down because he didn't gave away his son to whatever transaction they had or whatever. So you already know. So stop acting brand new.
Like also this is the damn 50s. What other black family do you know that live like you do?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like no one else on your street. Like, I doubt anyone else on their street is black. I'm just gonna say that.
I mean, well, they probably was just the best house in the black neighborhood.
Either way, I'm just saying it's like, what other black folks do they know live like? All the other black folks they know don't dress like they do.
Right.
It's like that you're at a place that black people in general don't get in this time period. You had to ask yourself some questions at some point. So don't be coming at him like this is too dangerous for our family. This is what built our family.
And you know what? I can give her saying, hey, this is getting out of hand, let's get out or something. It wasn't really like that. It was more like,
you ain't doing your job.
How you let this happen and all this. Like, it's going to happen. Just be more careful. Or if you don't like it, leave him or whatever. Maybe she ain't got no choice, but I just don't like hearing all the complaints if you already know what this is.
Well, especially if you ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. So
like, if it's an ultimatum, like, look, if this is gonna keep happening around my kids, me and my kids are gone.
Right. So
that's something she could come with, but it's just like, how could you let this happen? Do you not see the business I'm in? This is what happens.
Yeah. So he gave her this speech. That was like one of his big moments. I remember saying on the trailer, this is where I had to roller coaster till it stops or something like that. I don't remember what it said exactly. But how'd you think about his acting on that?
I mean, it's so weird because like he's a good actor.
It wasn't bad.
He's a good actor. He did his job in that scene. It's still Chris Rock.
I know that's the hard part, to take him serious as a gangster. Like that character would have served better if it was like somebody like Mahershala Ali or something. But it's fine. Whatever. It is what it is. I don't want to linger on that scene.
Props to him for like not letting this become a Chris Rock character though.
Right? Yeah.
Like he has stayed 100% on this character, and it would be so easy for him to just default to being loud and obnoxious.
So as we said, the black gang has been locked up. So Justo had this happen, and it was kind of like more like a warning. So he come to talk to the little black gang while they locked up, and he tell them pretty much the truth.
Yeah.
Everybody like a gangster story. They like to see somebody take something, but only if they look like me. When they see you as a gangster, they just see a criminal. They see me take something. He said, I can run for president. I can take what I want, and I can still run for president. And when you take what you want, they just see a criminal.
Yeah.
Which is true. But what I did like, the black gang was looking like, we already know that.
Yeah. Like, this ain't news. This ain't news to us. We grew up on this same story you did. We know.
Yeah.
We already know.
Which, he basically said, he told him to give up. Now, is he saying give up as in
Get gone.
give up everything or just stop trying to feud? Now I wouldn't
So,
quit on that. Just me
I think he means give up on the feud and know your place.
right.
You know, you under us. Don't try to match us. Don't try to come up on us. You know your place, so stay there. But like one of the dudes in jail told him, you know, it's like
Ain't no
going
no.
back.
Well, he told that to Rabbi Milligan. But see, this is I'm thinking like none of this would even happen if Giatano did not call for hit on Lloyd's son. That started
True.
everything,
True.
which is what he wanted anyway.
Yeah.
So and then next out that brings Calamino. Is that how to say his name?
Calamita.
Calamita, was basically he was trying to entice Giatani to start the war.
Yeah.
Which, and you know, it didn't take too much to push him to that point because he was already feeling that.
Yeah.
You know,
Calamita like was already feeling a kind of way because they already made him out like a punk. So,
yeah, I know, yeah, right. So he already mad for their little score on his face they gave him or whatever. So excuse me. So Giatani and Calamito's kind of talking strategy a little bit. And this scene is funny. So they got him doing this little opera. I guess some opera's playing in the background. He's doing a little dance or whatnot, Giatani. And I'm looking like I was telling you, okay, they don't have headphones. Maybe he was listening to it in the car and he still was into it. And you gotta wonder about this series. It's almost like a straight up gangster series, but they'll jump to some slapstick.
Yeah.
You know, where they done it earlier with the fort joke and all that. It's like, why they do that? With the comedy.
I think that's a style thing at this point. It's not even like it's necessary for the story, or if they even really just want to do it. I think it's like this is how we tell stories. So they had to slip that slapstick in there. And I think also it's supposed to help like knock you back down from tense moments. So like you go through this really tense standoff, you know there's some tense stuff coming forward, and then to beg you off of the tenseness, like so that was supposed to be a death scene, right? With the fart joke. They backed you off of what looked like it was about to be a death scene, only to turn it into the setup for an actual death scene.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that.
So like it's
too.
a bit of subversion just to like fake. It's a feint before the knockout blow. You know.
Yeah. So they did the scene where they got him. It seems like they doing some slow motion walking, and Giatani doing this whole, you know, orchestra to this opera that's playing in the background. It's just like a kind of a cool scene, I guess, or a cliche scene that you would see in movies, in gangster movies or whatnot, before something's going to happen. And out of nowhere, he's walking across this patch of ice and slipped and bust his ass. And it's like, damn, when he's supposed to be having a cool moment right now, it's like they do that. You know, that's how they jump to slapstick. But and the guy, it was some guy working at the restaurant. They just started cracking up. I started laughing, but he was laughing so hard it made me stop laughing. And I'm like, it ain't that funny.
Like that was the thing. It's like, okay, it was a little funny when it happened, but it's like, okay, bro, that's it. It's done.
Well, and I'm thinking like, if anybody fall and like that, it's funny in the movie, but in real life, if somebody's laughing so hard, like a knee slapping laughing, I got a problem with that because that person could be hurt.
Yeah.
Now, even though this is a scumbag, he don't know that. He just laugh.
Like, because in that moment, it's fine to laugh a little bit. Hey, buddy, you all right, man? You know,
or tell somebody about it later, then laugh. But laughing at somebody after they
he's
hurt.
almost like doubled over laughing at this. You know, it's like it got weird.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was cool. It's just the fact that you asking for an ass whooping.
Yeah. Like any random dude off the street might say, "Oh, you think that's funny, dude? You think that's funny?"
Right. We talk about a gangster too.
Yeah.
So anyway, they kind of bring this little. They are talking shop. Now I don't know if he was planning on this or if there's something going on with this. I don't know if this was just a spur of the moment thing. I think it was because the way that Calamino, the way he responded, he didn't seem like he knew what the hell was going on, or he didn't know that this was going to happen.
Right.
Should I say what it is? Would that be kind of like spoiling? I guess.
Look,
we've been spoiling pretty much everything. So
because the long and short of it is Gitano goes off and does some Gitano stuff. If you've been watching the show, you know what Gitano stuff is.
Well, actually,
now, so.
I'm gonna say we don't because we thought he was all talk. So
you did?
Well, I mean, why wouldn't I? Because he never actually did nothing until now.
I was certain it wasn't because like they.
And then look, he got the eyes. He'd be talking and he'd be like, "Well, this is what we're gonna do."
I mean, because everyone made it out like
take him serious.
Everyone made it out like he made his bones in the old country doing some off the wall.
Yeah, but
stuff.
it was all talk. You know what I'm saying? I never seen him do nothing. He had a knife. He never used it.
I assumed he had earned the right to talk, like because everyone.
We don't know that though.
No,
we don't know that
because everyone let him go. Like no,
he's a big dude.
Like yeah,
and
but
he's the boss son.
Even the old heads let him go. Like that's what I'm
well,
saying.
I mean,
like that kind of lifestyle. If the boss's son start talking and he ain't earned the right to talk, you can slap him upside the head and say, "Hey, you ain't earned the right yet."
All right, well, whatever. I just felt like he ain't really did nothing yet, but he did do something this time, and it was some cold stuff. And I was thinking like, did these people have anything to do with anything?
No.
And I was like, yeah, no, okay. Now you showed me that you're a cold-blooded killer, and you did some unnecessary stuff. So I mean, I guess that was good to set up the next scene where it made me feel uneasy of what this guy gonna do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because we know he's capable of just doing something that was unpredictable, very unpredictable. So I'm gonna come back to that, but I'm gonna say before I get to that, just talk about when Lloyd, we left off at the last episode,
right,
where Lloyd found out that the money was the money that got stolen from him. So you knew he was already gonna go back to the Smutnies, but we don't know exactly how he was going to do it. You know, he did say early on in the scene, we're going to take the funeral home and they're going to give us up the women that stole the money, or we going to kill them. Which I thought he was going to send some people over. I guess he was going to do that, but since they all got pinched, he had to do it. So he went to them.
So like I wasn't sure how that was going to go. Because at least like the initial deal, he was present for it, right? Because we seen in the little flashback or whatever that Ethelrita was like came downstairs and saw him in the kitchen or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was a little surprised, even with the way things are going, that he actually went himself rather than try to find somebody to do it.
But as we said, everybody was pretty much locked up.
Or to wait until he got his people out, because that would have been priority.
Right. I mean, yeah, so all the soldiers locked up, so he took care of himself. And so now we get another scene where Chris Rock get to be a gangster. So I like the scene. I really like the scene. So he go talk to the Smutnies, and then he talked to, of course, he basically, and he brings the son.
Zero.
Oh, so that's his name?
Yeah, Zero is short for his full first name, and I don't remember.
Right, it was
Zero Meaning or something like that.
Yeah. So he brings him with him, and then he's basically telling them, first off, y'all try to pay me back with my own money. I could just kill y'all right now. And, they kind of like pleading with him, like, look, we can make this right. I didn't know. I didn't know my ass. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wanted to hear that. And he kind of like, he threatened them, basically saying, look, your funeral home belongs to me now. And if y'all got something to say with it, he's like basically saying, look, I'm trying my best not to just paint this wall red with y'all blood right now.
Like he told himself, look, this is not the day, okay? It would be so easy, He wants, and that's the thing that I really like about the scene is you can tell he wants an excuse to go off on somebody.
Yeah. I mean,
he
had
to back himself off.
He had to put the pressure on them. Like, he couldn't come and talk nice. If they did, they probably wouldn't have gave up you know, the sisters. I mean,
like
yeah, her sister.
she tried to give him, look, Mr. Cannon, please, don't please me. Please,
ain't time.
we beyond please.
And I do like though, where he was like, she's like, do your son want? Do this look like my son?
The thing I love about it is Mr. Smutney was like, well, you know,
well, because I guess he was thinking, well, we got like a daughter that's mixed or whatever, so that could be. Shut up.
And that the kid, like, this situation getting like more and more tense. He just looking at that kid like,
yeah. But no, I do like, and then he basically acknowledged that I traded my youngest son for power. That's why I got this boy here. You know what I'm saying?
He even said straight up, it's like, now look, I traded my son for this kid for power. Now my wife, she's distraught. She can't get a hold of herself. Me, I sleep like a baby.
Now this is something he telling her to kind of scare her,
Yeah.
but I think he don't sleep like a baby.
Oh no, like, because this position, this, you know, the boss of the Cannon Syndicate, this is a character for him, and he's trying his damnness to hold character. And that's part of Dr. Senator's whole job, is to advise him on how to play this character. Because at the end of the day, he's just a man looking out for his family and his people. He's
Right.
He wasn't built to take this position. It's just where he is.
So so yeah, that was a good scene. And then after he went off on him or whatever, he's like, now get the kid a piece of cake. Because he saw him eyeballing that cake like,
Oh, yeah.
I want some of that. So anyway, let's move on. So pretty much the last scene, Dr. Senator goes into the restaurant. I guess this is usually where they have a sit down with the, how you say that?
The conciliary.
Conciliary is basically, I guess, the spokesman for the gang or whatever. I know I heard that before on mafia movies.
I mean, they're basically, you know, a consul. You know,
Right.
that's the guy that the boss, you know, goes to for advice when he needs to know how to handle
That's
the
the
situation.
rules. Kind of like how they do this whole organized crime thing.
And also like when you need to have, you know, when you need to talk to, you know, another gang, your conciliary and theirs, they're the ones that have to sit down. Look, this is what we're trying to get. What are y'all trying to get? Is there any way to meet? Because like if the bosses come out,
that's the whole point of this little sit down. And it's supposed to be no guns fired. No, you know what I'm saying. This is a sit down. This is a rule that been put in place, and people follow this rule so they can't lose control.
right?
And this is Calamino really don't care. And like I said, Gitano,
Close enough.
what is it?
Gitano.
Pretty much wasn't. I think he wasn't there to do this, and then Calamino really convinced him to.
Well, like also, I'm trying to figure out if those two guys
Because the conciliary, how you say it? Conciliary actually is out of town right now. And this Josto number 2. And I think this was a huge mistake to get rid of your number 2 when you got this guy here that's coming at you.
So part of Josto's problem is he did that to make a point to the number 2. It's like, look, you may have been my father's number 2 guy, but you ain't necessarily my number 2 guy.
But
so you do what I tell you.
He was loyal to him.
He was.
So he would have not stepped out of line because of...
But Josto's spiraling. He don't know who he can trust.
I know.
So instead of keeping that dude close to him, he sent him off to prove his loyalty.
I guess.
But
it was
also
a bad move.
because but also because he needed someone to handle some stuff out of town that he could trust.
Yeah.
And he only really had
it just
the
ain't
one
the
guy.
time.
He really only had the one guy he could trust. It was him or the Irishman.
Right. So we're going to talk about what transpired in the very last scene.
Right.
So Dr. Senator pretty much he told
Calamita
that basically Calamita do this little talk. I hate that character, dude. I swear, not just because what he did, it's just he's a scumbag through and through.
Yes, absolutely.
You know,
well, you know, he's one of those archetypes in these kind of stories. Like he dresses real nice, he takes real good care of himself, But every time he opens his mouth, he reveals himself to just be like the lowest scumbag in the entire.
He's like a snake.
Yeah.
But anyway, he basically told, and I don't know if he was originally going to make this just a warning, and then this got out of hand.
Yeah.
Or was he already originally planning to do something?
It was just supposed to be a warning, but his ego at this point is so fragile that once Dr. Senator came back at him, he's like, well, which is it? Are we done talking? Because you keep talking. You know,
right. But
he couldn't handle it.
But see, I was looking like, I was just feeling like, maybe I guess they feel like you're not dealing with, he basically wanted to tell him, you're not dealing with the guys no more that cared about doing stuff right. Now you're dealing with some dudes that will just kill you if you step out of line. And, I guess that was his message. And, Dr. Senator basically, he didn't back down. And he told him, okay, well, I don't see, basically, he told him about y'all not giving respect. Respect is earned, and y'all just young man making a mess, and I'm about to clean it up one day. I did like that.
Yeah.
I just didn't like what transpired after was a very Dr. Senator got killed. I'm gonna just throw it out there, and it was very. I did not picture it like that, and I was very upset that it happened like the way it happened. I ain't gonna say very upset. I just wanted. I knew the bodies was gonna drop. I knew it was gonna be some.
Of course, yeah.
Sooner or later, once the war start, people gonna die, and I knew somebody had to go. But I was just mad that he went out like that, where Calamito just basically walked out and shot him.
I won't say I saw it coming. I didn't see it coming, but
They built it up like something was gonna happen though.
Like I knew something was going to happen. I was thinking they might subvert it now and pick it up later, Yeah. I will say I think they're trying to play up this role that Calamita and Gitano have of being like kind of loose cannons. I think is what that scene was about.
Yeah. So, Calamito did. He gunned down Dr. Senator, and he died. And I was mad about that damn driver. I was like, man, can't you get a shot off? What are you here for? He had a gun. He had a pistol that he dropped. Anyway, we're going to wrap it up. But that's how they ended the episode, man. And, Dr. Senator died there on the street, just like you said. They played the Fargo theme music. I heard that was the first time they played it as far as the show. Maybe that was the first time they played it in this episode. I'm not sure. But as they was leading out, it faded to black with the Fargo theme music playing. And I'm looking like, man, it's wartime, but it's like I feel like, damn, Lloyd's, man, Cannon gang, that was his brains right there. I don't see.
Well,
hopefully it, the way it looks like everybody gonna die. But
I think what they're leading up to is like once all the old heads are gone, and it's just the neophytes. A little too passionate.
I would just like to see. I would like to see him win out better, like it was like a nice little shootout or whatever,
right.
Whatever. Because he kind of knew that he was coming, so that to me made me say, damn. Since he knew he didn't catch him off guard, he should have had a chance.
Right.
But that ain't the way they did it. So
yeah.
So anyway, that was Fargo season 4, episode 5. Rest in peace, Dr. Senator. He was my favorite character on the damn show.
He was awesome, dude.
And
love that guy.
So we'll move on. We don't want to take too long on one review, so we'll move on. We got some other shows to do. We're going to do what was the other one? Oh, Lovecraft Country.
Yeah.
I can remember where that down. Oh shit, that's not the right one. Excuse my language. Okay then.
Might want to start labeling.
Yeah. Okay, I know that. Thank you. I know that. Thank you. So that's good enough right there. Got Lovecarft Country. Got That's D. With the dog thing or whatever.
The what was it? The sugar.
Yeah. Why did they use that?
I mean, why not?
All right. Let's talk about it. All right. So we talking about. Hold on a second. All right. We are talking about Lovecraft Country, episode 10, season finale. Season 1 finale, episode 10. Now, this you think they're gonna have a season 2?
Oh, they better have a season 2.
Yeah.
Man, like
They didn't leave much.
it wouldn't surprise me if they didn't. But at the
I was
same
hearing
time,
they might do it like an anthology, like.
Yeah, I'd be down for it, man. Like, especially when you end as hard as they did.
Yeah.
Like, they ended this strong, dude. Like, I want more of this show.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, we saw last episode, they went back in time and they got the book of names. And they, so they brought it back to save D. So I guess that's kind of the first thing they kicked off the episode with, like, we got to save D using the book of names.
Right.
So they had this sequence where basically once they used it, Tick, Atticus, and Lady just fell out.
Like the second they opened the book.
No, they actually he said like a little incantation or something.
The incantation was to unbind the book so that it could open.
Oh, okay. So once they did
it
that,
opened directly to the page with his birthmark on it.
Yeah.
And then they both fell out.
Right. Which I don't want to talk about the writing, but some things that happened here was like, whoa, is a lot of plot convenience. But I don't know if it's plot convenience. It's more like they just kind of gave them a lot of information and a lot of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which, I mean, you don't have time to learn all this stuff. So what we're saying is once they fell out or whatever, they kind of, I guess there was kind of like a place where all their ancestors were.
Yeah.
I forgot, they called it, now I guess, okay, basically, he went to a place and talked to his mom, his grandma, like his ancestor.
Yeah.
That actually, was the slave of the
Titus.
Titus, yeah.
Yeah.
So, which they kept on kind of showing her a little bit. And so Letty went and talked to his ancestor also. That's because, that's right, because of the baby inside her. Okay. So anybody, I guess, with their blood, I guess, could come to that place where all the ancestors were.
Sure.
But that was like, I watched a couple of Ending Explained, and they were saying that the mother used the ancestor used some kind of spell where once they die, they can go here.
Yeah.
So all the ancestors was like there or whatever.
Yeah.
And they pretty much was telling them all they need to know. That's why I was like, this is real convenient.
Well, like I get, at the point that they were in telling this story, they either could have had like another episode or two just for exposition to get them to this point without advancing the plot at all.
It helps move it along.
Yeah.
The fact that they didn't have to find all this out, they just kind of like dumped a lot of information on them.
Yeah. Just like, look, here's what you need to go finish the story.
Right. This is. They actually had the one ancestor, I think it was his grandmother, telling Lady, like basically teaching her. I don't know how long she was there.
Right.
Maybe time is different from there or whatever, but she just basically taught her how to do some spells and all this. I'm like, how much time they got? I thought it was like a matter of minutes.
It's magic. It's magic.
Right. I mean, you could argue the time.
They've got the greatest, caveat possible. There's like, how did you have time? Magic.
Yeah.
How did you survive? Magic.
And Atticus was talking to his ancestor.
Didn't he talk to his mother?
Well, first
too?
his ancestor.
First his ancestor.
Then he talked to his mother.
Right.
About basically what he had to do, I guess.
Right.
Where he decided what he was going to do. They did. I mean, I guess that was cool. It's just, they kind of, they have him like a little kid or whatever. And like, I don't want to die. But that was cool. But I was just thinking about how he like laid on her lap. And I guess that's cool. But I'm like, grown man now. But okay, whatever.
Just a little maternal lap pillow. It's fine.
Yeah. So anyway, once they wake up, they got this plan, and then it's like, okay, their plan. And I was thinking this: once they save Dee life, why did they have to go with this plan?
I don't know. Because my thinking was, if nothing else, you could stay gone long enough to force Christina
And
to
this
have
the
to wait until
only
next
time
year.
I agree with Montrose. This the only time I'm with Montrose is let's just get the hell out of here.
Like,
we ain't even once you save D when you had the book of names, you did not have to because basically they promised Christina that they'd show up for her ceremony or whatever if she saved D or whatever, but they didn't need her to do it. They got the book of names themselves, and they did, you know what I'm saying? So they didn't have to, so they had came up with a plan to, turn it all on Christina or something like that.
The only thing I will say is if there were any kind of magic in Atticus's promise to go along willingly, which she gave him for the protection spell that summoned the Shoggoth.
Right, but see, the thing is,
I don't know if there was any kind of magical
the thing
binding
is,
to that
they
or not.
just wanted to stop her. They didn't want to. They just wanted to stop her. They didn't really have a reason to go. Like it wasn't like if we don't get her, this is going to happen. No, it just they just felt like maybe she's going to keep coming after us. That's what they was thinking.
Right.
But
like if they can back her off for the next 24 hours,
right? If
she
they
can't
get
do
just
it again
beat
until
that
next
time,
year.
if they don't, if she don't get him there at that time, then she can't do it.
Well, until next year.
Oh, it was a once a year thing.
Yeah, it's the autumnal equinox happens every year.
Oh, well, whatever. I mean, maybe they feel like this is we can get rid of her once and for all or something. I don't know, but they came up with this plan. And and I was worried about this plan, but they had brought back Titus, and it's like a resurrection spell. So they resurrected him just so they can get a piece of his flesh or something, or like it's something had to do with the spell where they have to be joined or something.
Yeah, so it needed his flesh, her flesh, and Titus's flesh, and I don't recall why they needed Titus's flesh.
Yeah,
I guess the binding spell for her magic needed his side of the family, for the excision of their ability to use magic. So
right.
But somehow the end result of the spell, at least what they stated on, was they now know white people can use magic.
You know what? It's weird. That's why I had to watch the end of this explain, because I kind of didn't really understand what was going on or what happened. But I'll talk a little bit about Ruby and her interaction, where she basically, for the spell to work, they needed a piece of Titus, piece of Atticus, and Christina. They had to add Christina to, he had to have a Christina inside him or something like that. Something like that. They had to combine them or something. And that was part of the thing. And so they asked Ruby to do it, and we was already kind of skeptical, is Ruby on their side? Do she really love her? But this is the thing. It seems that Christina do have feelings for Ruby.
Yeah.
So, and it's like they said, basically all the bad people are gone. Christina is the big bad now.
Right.
And that's the thing. She's not, to me, she just wasn't that bad. She wasn't evil.
I mean, the worst thing about her is that she's willing to sacrifice Atticus for the spell,
right,
but that's it.
She never lied about it.
No.
She was straight up front and tried to basically bargain. It's like, look, I do this, you come willingly.
Because to be fair,
she told him he gonna die.
As per the end result, it would have changed nothing.
Right, and I'm like, ain't you already?
Yeah.
Was she trying to stay immortal?
She wanted to become immortal. She was invulnerable, but she wanted to become immortal.
So she can die old age, maybe.
Right. So I feel like as far as the way
and
things
it's so
went,
funny you say she could do this next year.
Yeah.
So what's the rush?
Right. I guess she just wanted to get it all licked before anything could go wrong.
So he had to die. It couldn't just been his blood.
Well, she would have needed all of it. So it couldn't have been now like nowadays I would have said like they probably could have done some kind of a transfusion to get all of his a full like thing of his blood.
Yeah.
But
over a course of a year, you can get enough.
But like I guess it needs to be like fresh, or they need it all at once.
Yeah, of course.
Whatever.
It's gotta be convenient.
But like the way I look at it is like for all the fighting they did to keep her from getting what she wanted, all they did was keep her from getting what she wanted. Atticus still died.
Yeah.
So like, what was the point?
Well, the thing was they wasn't planning on that. They had a plan that didn't.
I mean, I get that, but I'm just saying results wise.
So I'm gonna tell you what the plan was. Well, I don't know what the plan was.
I
but
get
I
what
was
the plan
thinking
was.
It was just funny that they did stuff that I was a little too like really. So basically, they needed a piece of Christina. So they was like, "How we gonna get that?" I was like, "Yeah, how you gonna get that?" Like, if it was just like a hair, I say you can get that. Get still a brush. No, they needed like her blood and body parts or some shit. Like, and I was like, how the hell you gonna get that?
I think it was like blood, hair, and fingernails was what they
or something like that.
Yeah.
But hold on. So when she talking to, and she asked Ruby to do it, first Ruby said no, and it was like she seemed like she said no because she just mad at Letty.
Yeah.
But I don't know if she said no because she had a feelings for Christina. I'm not sure. But a lot of people say, and then you look at their relationship, she still just seemed like a servant to her. She didn't have, you know what I'm saying? Especially when they was leaving, how she always driving. It's like you just a servant. You know what I'm saying? Why are you leaving with her? But when she was like, I need, you need a piece of her, and then when she went back to Christina, she's like, oh yeah, that's just my hair and nails and stuff in that vial right there. So I'm looking like, that's a little too convenient to have what she needs just sitting right there on the table.
And also, why would you just tell someone that?
Right. I mean, she basically she's asking questions about what she needs for the da-da. She's like, oh yeah, I just need my stuff and somebody else's stuff. We got to mix together, whatever. That's mine's right there. It's like they almost stopped and put a sign that said, that's what you need. I swear to God, I'm looking like, that's too convenient, y'all. Come on.
Yeah.
It's like, at first I was thinking, how's she going to get that? Dude, she got to like stab her and get her blood or something? It's like, no, it's cool. It's already in a vial, and I'm going to leave it right there. I'm about to go take a piss. You know what I'm saying? It was like one of them moments.
Hey, look, so if you need a vial with like my blood, hair, and fingernails in it, there's one right over on the table over there. You can just help yourself. Anyways, I'll be back in 5. Yeah. But like, so the thing I was saying about like Atticus dying, so like I think everybody but Montrose was aware of the fact that even if they went with their plan, he was going to die. Because that's why he made that letter for Montrose.
Yeah, because he's the only one that wouldn't accept that.
Right.
And I understand. But I don't really know. I don't know. I thought that was like if the plan didn't work. I really don't know what the plan was. So we had this. So Ruby changed her mind, got the vial, but she ended up having this fight with Letty. They was fighting like some action stars. They wasn't fighting like no girls. They wasn't fighting like. I'm like, hold up, God.
Like one of the best fight scenes I've seen in a minute too. Like they was going ham, dude. Like,
dude, I'm talking about they punching, blocking punches. Yeah. Then I'm like, wait a minute, y'all fighting a little too clean for a girl fight. Y'all not pulling her and just, they just, they just, so they fight like MMA fighters.
You know what? This was some hardcore action movie fighting too. Like when they need to show a couple of dudes brawling who ain't necessarily trained, but they good.
Yeah.
Like that's what this fight was. Like there was some haymakers to the body and
that's what I'm saying. It's like, hold on, y'all do some straight ass punching. I ain't seen no girl. No, it's
it wasn't World Star.
Uppercut.
This
like,
wasn't World Star, baby. But this was Fight Night, not World Star.
But I mean, we see that it wasn't Ruby. It was actually Christina that, her little thing where she can take a person's body or whatever.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, so now we know that he never had her blood, and I never thought that was her blood.
Me neither.
With. That was just too easy.
I had assumed. Now, what I had thought had happened was like Ruby told Christina everything. Christina said, "But look, this is what you do. You tell them you got my stuff. You give them this instead.
Yeah.
That way they can't."
I don't think she'll do that though. I mean, because her whole thing was she was mad at, she just wouldn't let the shit go with Lady. And that was kind of getting on my nerve. I'm like, what did Lady do you so bad? Because she keep trying to make peace and you keep on coming at her like, you did this, you did that. Like, get over it.
Like, even like at the height of her trying to be Letty's sister, the best thing she had for her was, look, you need to leave this Atticus dude behind. He ain't good for you. So like, I think knowing that the end result of this spell, even the way they wanted to shift it to ruin Christina's plans, as far as she was concerned, it just would have been getting Tick out of her sister's life, which would have been a net gain for her.
But as she said, now we don't know if it's true, she caught her trying to steal the shit and then she killed her. But I'm thinking I'm guessing
she's still alive
in that comatose state.
Yeah.
Like she had.
Because she already said, like, you need them to be alive.
I think they kind of flashed that. Showed her just kind of like laying down like in the bed where the other girl was.
Yeah, so like I think she would have had to be alive for that spell to work anyways, let alone I don't think she was prepared to kill Ruby. Because I think she did have some real feelings.
Yeah. And which made the ending kind of like, it wasn't satisfying because I wanted to, and we'll get to that, the Zach, the very end, but she did this, her ceremony thing. But before they got to the ceremony, Tick, he took the, I guess he ate the piece of flesh.
Yeah.
And drank the blood. I don't know how he did it without puking.
Oh man! Like you could tell he was thinking about like.
Yeah.
Like I can't, like, first off, the look of that stuff, less than appetizing.
Yeah, I mean,
like someone took a piece of pork that had been sitting in the fridge for a week, like
ate it raw. I would have cook
it. Like y'all could have like just set you a little fire, a little bit of salt and pepper. Nah.
I mean, okay, so his goal was to try to, I guess, reverse the spell or something on Christina.
Like
maybe,
just but like the end goal was to bind her magic and ruin her spell. So
right, and it was it was an attempt, but the thing was the whole. I don't know where all these people come from. I thought they all died in the fire, but I guess she still had a whole village that was.
I just assumed it was that, like, the people from the village were still alive.
I guess they wasn't in the mansion.
Right.
So the people in the mansion got it. So they still there. Their little village, and they all popped out of nowhere with pitchforks and stuff.
Yep.
And they basically, and I'm looking like, okay, couldn't she could have killed him, right? She didn't kill him.
She didn't want to. It wasn't her whole plan was like, look, now y'all sit there and let me gain my immortality and we cool, all right?
Right. I just, I didn't really feel her like she was just this big bad.
Because that's the thing. And I think this is intentional, but she's not a villain.
Right. They made her basically clear about all her intentions. Yeah. The whole show.
Like, straight up, if your death wasn't a necessary component in this spell, I wouldn't even give a fuck.
I know. That's what I'm saying. And it's like, it was just a necessary thing she wanted to do, in which I'm like, okay.
And she wasn't.
I'm not gonna let you kill me or whatever, but I don't have a grudge against me as a person watching this. I didn't hold that grudge against her. More against I forgot her dad and the police chief.
Yeah.
They
would have been either one of them. It would have been easy to say, all right, forget this dude.
Yeah. They are typical villains.
Yeah.
But okay. Thing is, once she do this ceremony, once she made those cuts, there was a wrap.
Oh yeah, he was dead. Like, I'm sorry. Like, first off, like, she like showered in his blood.
Yeah.
Like, and that was just from one of the cuts. So I don't even know why both of them was necessary.
Yeah.
But like, she cut this dude from wrist to damn near elbow. Okay. Dude's bleeding out. I'm sorry, there ain't no stopping that.
Yeah. So she started the ceremony. Now, one thing they did once Lady found out that Ruby was actually Christina, she tried to fight her. They had a fight. Threw her out of a window, whatever. Yeah. I was like, oh shit, damn, Lady dead.
Yeah.
Since when did she get the
I'm wondering
invincible shit?
I'm wondering if some version of that wasn't imparted upon the baby, or if they like found the spell in the book, spell like it in the book of names.
Why didn't they put it on all themselves?
I don't
You know what I'm
think
saying?
so. Like that's the thing is like I'm thinking it was something unintentional, or it was something like I don't know. I don't because she didn't look surprised when Letty rolled up.
Right.
So I'm wondering if she didn't apply it herself.
Maybe. I don't know. It just maybe she never took it off or whatever. I don't know. Point is, it just didn't make sense to me. You know,
Yeah.
it's like I just feel like is it gone or do she got it or she don't got it? You
Because
know,
they made a point of like
make
her
up your
taking
mind.
it off. You know?
Right, that's what I'm saying.
So-
And then that made that whole scene when she fell out the window, which is actually a good camera work how they did that.
Oh yeah.
But when she hit, I'm like, she dead. You're like, don't give me that. You know, if she ain't dead, every bone in her body gotta be shattered.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She,
You know, dust. So like I'm wondering if this is one of those things like they're kind of hoping they can push that until like they get greenlit for season 2, you know, and they say, like before, like you know, maybe Christina whispered the spell, you know, at her before they had their little fight or something, or there was some kind of conditions to it, like it was like she took it off or something like the time. Because remember when she did that. When she had those guys beat her up and wrap her in chicken wire and toss her in the water, she had done this.
I still don't know the point of that.
It's as close as she could get to compassion. But I think like it was a temporary removal of the spell that had like a time limit maybe.
I don't know. But
I don't know either.
That's
but
not explained that much. But whatever. That kind of, and then, you know, that's the wild card, I guess, because she's supposed to have been dead. You always got that wild card running
I
around.
mean, but she really wasn't. G.I. was a wild card, really.
Well, yeah, okay. I forgot she was there, too. The fox demon lady,
The Kumiho.
yeah, she was there, too, which I don't see why. Was she in the book?
She was in the car with him. She came.
No,
down there
I'm
with him.
talking about. I was hearing. I think she wasn't in the book. They just
I
like,
don't know.
added her or whatever.
I still haven't picked.
But
it
yeah,
up.
I saw she was in the car and they sung their little song, and somebody said that it's a throwback because early in the movie they was the song was playing and Christine was like, "I hate this song," that very song. So that was kind of like a shout, you know, what they call that,
Throwback.
nod to the whatever. So anyway, once it come to a head, somehow it didn't work. Why didn't it work?
Because her spell was going to work.
Looked like it
Christina's-
already worked though.
Christina's was working. They came through and tried to do their counter spell. It wasn't working because they didn't have her blood.
Right. So once she stabbed her, she got her blood.
Well, one, she stabbed her, and then Gia came in and used herself to bind Atticus and Christina.
Oh, okay.
She used her tails to bind them. So that completed the loop.
Yeah.
Because he still had Titus's flesh in him.
Yeah. So all that was combined.
Yeah. So like I guess like that black fog, smoke, whatever the hell that was, that was the spell trying to take action.
Yeah.
So she threw herself into it, bound those two together, and through her completed the spell.
so
the counter spell.
so they completed their original spell,
Yeah.
which was to take her power away.
Yeah. And somehow every white person. That's the thing. That's the one thing I don't get is how that was supposed to like. I get,
But maybe it's whoever you want it to be.
but like, cause magic, like,
It ain't just every white person. So
Right.
I'm like, how do they get decipher what about mixed people? What about
see, this
and
is
lady looked like she mixed.
right.
Yeah.
So this is where I'm at on this, cause like everything I know about the way magic works, from different mythologies and lores and whatnot, magic is largely totemic. You enact on a small scale what you want to happen on a large scale, and you use magic and will to bridge the gap between the two. At no point did anyone say, ain't no white person going to have magic after this. It was just, look, if we combine Christina's magic, she won't be a threat anymore. That's all I heard this whole time.
Right. And we were thinking that, I thought you were just gonna take magic away from everybody. But she was like saying nobody white can use magic now.
Yeah.
Like they need it.
Right.
But if they got magic, they can fight them now. I
Yeah.
guess.
I don't know. So that's the thing. It's like I was willing to give it to them when they were just gonna take her magic away. Like white people with magic wasn't really something they were concerned with because they're already white people. Magic was just to, even the odds.
Yeah.
But
that threw me off. Excuse. Sorry. That threw me off though. The fact she said, not just you, every white person in the world.
yeah.
Oh.
First, I didn't realize this spell you was using was like that. Secondly, you never said that was gonna happen.
But I'm looking like if y'all got this book, now y'all can use magic and nobody else can. I guess just put them ahead if it's gonna be a part 2 or whatever. I don't know. We'll see. But I don't know, man. Atticus died. I didn't think he was gonna make it. I mean, the way when she cut his arms,
That was a through piece.
Yes,
like she slashed his arms wide open.
Yeah,
son.
you don't give me no don't last word. No,
Nah.
you got 4 minutes.
Like sometimes when folks get cut on screen, it's a fountain. This like a sprinkler. This dude turned into a whole ass shower.
If somebody commits suicide in bathtub, don't they usually cut
Yes.
that section of their arms?
Well, because that's the surest way to get all the largest arteries and whatnot. So it's like if you go across the wrist, that there's a chance you'll just like pass out.
Right, it'll take a while. It'll take longer.
It'll take longer, so there's more chance someone gets to you first. If you go straight up and down, that's like, nah, you're done. You'll bleed out before anybody can get you medical attention. And she got both arms.
Yeah. So anyway,
I'm just trying to figure out what was keeping his arms up because after he finally died, his arms fell down.
Yeah,
I thought
it
his
was
arms were
tied up. I don't know why they got loosened. But anyway, so once the spell got turned around on Christina or whatever, I guess she gave up her own vulnerability spell or whatever. And the way I didn't really like the way they ended that, where she basically told her, you ain't got vulnerability and you ain't got powers no more. Bye. So they kind of just like left her there.
Left her there, yeah.
And I'm like, okay. Which I'm like, you know what? It probably wouldn't have been bad if she survived and could come back as like a Darth Vader-like villain where she all messed up, but now she want revenge, but she can't use magic, you know? I would have actually liked that.
That would have been cool, but didn't go down that way.
Where
I was a little, I'm not sure how I feel about how they took her
it was
out.
a bit cruel. Because I feel like you took everything from her. You hurt her. I mean, you physically messed her up, and you took everything from her. That's good enough. In a person that's dying and begging for help, do we gotta just do them like the way she did?
And then you could.
I didn't hate her,
and it was
enough
visceral too.
Right, I didn't hate her enough for her to go out like that. You know what I'm saying?
Like if it had been anyone else, if it had been her dad,
that's what I'm saying. Like
the
they
police
didn't.
Chief, I could have given you.
To
that.
me, they didn't make her for enough of a villain to have her to go out like that in a cruel manner to me, because she was helpless, begging for help, and it's
and even on her not being the most helpful.
Maybe that's how it
person
ended
to
in
them.
the book.
She even came out and said, "Look, this is the limit of my ability with this stuff.
Yeah.
Anything else, I'm gonna need that book." Or
I just thought that she was either going to eventually be the ally or just like one of those. I'll help them when it's. I'll help them when it's.
I ain't with you, but I ain't against you.
Right, one of them that I help you when it's convenient for me or whatever. But one of them, one of the people that kind of stay out there.
Yeah.
But they try to turn her into that big villain at the end, and I just wasn't feeling it.
And it's weird because getting to the end now, if they had actually helped her out at the when she first came to them, things would have ended a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I'm like, a lot of this stuff didn't even have to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it was all to save Atticus. But I mean, maybe, and she said, if you give me the book, I will try to find a way to do it without killing him.
Yeah.
They at least could exploit that option, but they didn't even do that,
Nope.
They basically tried to double cross her, in which they did, but it's just the fact that I don't know, it's just like the fact that she didn't lie, the fact that she said, "Look, I want this. He's gonna die, and that's the end of it. Okay, I'm not gonna let you kill me."
Yeah.
But you didn't do no snake stuff. You didn't do no underhanded shit.
And this
It
is
was just
kinda
straight up.
And I think part of this is a weakness in their setting because, like, you've got regular white people who are more villainous than her in this.
Right.
Who don't
that's what I'm
have
saying.
any magic, who aren't even involved in the actual plot, who are more villainous than her.
So I think in the actual book, well, she wasn't even in the book.
It was,
I think it was just William.
Just William, yeah.
And I guess maybe that's how he died in the book. There was something at the end. And maybe they just wanted to stay true to that or whatever. But the way they set her up, she kind of didn't really deserve to go out like that.
This makes me want to read the book a little bit more because I want to know how they handled like
That
the
ending.
characterization and the ending. Because like I can't see any reason why it had to go out like that.
So they gave they gave her a little mechanical arm, which I like the little special effect, the sound effect with it
Yeah.
or whatever. Was kind of cool.
But bruh, like just that squeeze.
Yeah, I know. And I'm thinking like,
And the pop.
right. And I was like, maybe she could have. I thought she was gonna use that arm to get her the rubble off her.
Yeah. I mean, instead we end up with like these villainous origin story right here.
Yeah.
Like if they come back like 15 years later and Dee is like a dictator.
Well, who's she
or
gonna
something,
fight now?
like who knows?
Yeah.
You know, maybe Cottonmouth.
Okay.
But like it's just like you get that last shot of Dee with a blood-soaked robotic arm and a Shoggoth, howling at the moon.
Yeah. So
And
somehow she controls it, right?
I don't think she controls it, but like she's
just
under its
protects them.
purview. So like
Well, since Atticus is gone, it's probably gotta be. It's gotta.
I
follow
think it's
somebody.
probably bound to his blood. So
Yeah.
it might
So
be
it
linked
might-
to Dee through Letty.
Yeah.
But like it's just so for that to be your last shot makes this ending so much darker.
Yeah, I mean, if they continue with this, I'm gonna need a proper villain. I'm gonna need
Yeah.
somebody to really hate,
Yeah.
not somebody that's like, okay, well, I'm kind of sideways
Like
on that.
this is
I'm
like
not-
the epitome of, hey, look, it's just business. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
It's like, look, if you can help me find a way not to have to kill you, we're straight. But
So-
the only way I know means you gotta die.
So yeah, that was the final episode of Lovecraft Country for this season. I think it might be a season 2, but we don't know. But we know that Letty's gonna have a son named, and she's gonna name him George.
George.
Maybe we might see that.
Little George.
Which I don't know. I guess maybe I was like, how would he know about all this since his dad is dead already? But maybe I guess she told him or whatever.
I mean, they can all tell him now. You know.
Yeah, it's a story. He got the actual book.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, it's just plagiarism. He stole the story from himself
So
in the future.
anyway, yeah, that is our review for Lovecraft Country episode 10. It's a good show. Watch it from beginning to end. It's on HBO Max. There's no other way to see it, right?
Yeah, it's only HBO Max.
Yeah.
But it's a damn fine show. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. If you only get HBO Max to watch the show, which I did, it'll be worth it. I'm not even going to lie. It'll be worth it. Like, if you just keep HBO Max for a month to watch this show, you'll be glad you did.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, that's our review for Lovecraft Country episode 10. Okay. So we're gonna end the day with.
Dear God.
It was we're gonna end this podcast with a review, a movie review. It's not gonna take long. Give about 15 minutes max.
A spectacular entertainment experience, the likes of which you have never seen.
All right, so we saw a movie on Netflix. It was let me put the image up there, and it's Tremors. It was a new Tremors movie. Tremors, Shrieker Island. Now, this was already the original Tremors was the shit. The original Tremors was a good ass movie that's a classic. It's a classic monster horror movie. So a lot of the actors didn't want to come back for the part 2 because they just figured it was they didn't know it was gonna get that following it did.
Right.
The first one was real
and
popular.
I think weren't all the sequels like straight to video too?
I think the second one might have went to the theater, maybe, because it was like I said, the first one was way more popular than they thought.
Right.
And I think they made that sequel, and then after that they was like, okay, straight to VOD.
Right.
So they end up getting a good following, and so they just continued making them. Now at that point, I've been checked out. I remember one well. I'm trying to think. Do I remember 2? I don't remember 2 at all. I don't know if I saw it or whatever. But by that time, after 2, they had part 3, and then they kept on going with it. I think they had a TV show.
They did have a TV show. Yeah.
So
I know I never saw it, but I do remember like when it was first announced.
So once they got this following and they went to VOD, they kind of pushed to sci-fi, and you already know what you're going to get by the time your shit hit sci-fi. By the time your shit hit sci-fi, it's going to be cheap, bad special effects, bad acting. And that kind of was
You just need to get it out there.
But you know what? And that's kind of the charm of sci-fi movies, how bad they are. You know what I'm saying? That makes people kind of that's like that is their signature.
Yeah. For anyone watching this who's too young to remember, that includes Sharknado.
Right. Oh man, they had a lot of stuff like alligator dinosaurs and mutant fish or whatever. Bad special effects.
One of my favorite film titles ever: Super Gator versus Titanoboa.
Yeah. So anyway, they dropped Tremors Shrieker Island on Netflix, and I was like, okay, it's got to be in the vein of all these other ones. Yeah. But was it good? Was it funny? Was it cheap? I don't know. But we will let you know with the review. But before we do that, going to show you this trailer teaser just so you can get an idea of what this movie looked like. So without further ado, let's check this teaser out, and then we're going to jump to our review.
You don't know what you're up against. I got this handled. You got a genetically enhanced giant carnivorous worm with tunneling abilities loose on your private island. This species should be left to die.
What exactly are we talking about?
Shriekers. We have 48 hours to stop these things.
Let's go, Ram Boy.
Burt Gummer is a freaking legend.
Let's go.
Count me in.
She's culling the weakest from the herd first.
Crap, that means I'm next.
Welcome to the party, Bert. Test to end here. This is it. Lead, follow, or get out of my way.
I'll lead.
That's not an option.
Okay, then. All right, so that was Tremors Shrieker Island. It wasn't an easy watch. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
I can see now why that trailer wasn't available on Netflix.
Dude, and I never seen that trailer until I saw that pop up on Netflix. And like I said, Tremors got a little cult following, so it moved up to number 7 on Netflix kind of quick. Like they just dropped it. And so it's got a place on their top 10 list. And so we decided to watch it. Okay, man. Starting off, man, this movie was not that good, man. I was like, and I told you, a movie like this, I was hoping it was bad. I was hoping it was so bad they gave us some material, but it was like, it was a competently shot monster movie, kind of like,
which ruins it,
right? Because it wasn't.
This is the franchise
so
that gave
bad.
you ass blasters.
Yeah,
okay?
that was the whole point. It got so ridiculous. For some reason, they tried to kind of take themselves serious.
Yeah,
and it was just not. We already know it ain't gonna be good. So just kind of go stupid with it.
Yeah.
But they didn't do that.
Like even your hero, such as it is, like he embodies everything this franchise is supposed to be. He's over the top, he's ridiculous, and he doesn't get that he's over the top and ridiculous.
Yeah. So originally,
That's his franchise.
Originally, Kevin Bacon and Fred Ward was like the main characters in Tremors, and then they said, "I'm not coming back for that," and so they got the next bigger actors, Michael Gross. Well, a lot of people might not know he was the dad on Family Ties.
Yeah.
But he's like been the main star in all the VOD Tremor movies, and he got like he was like a survival nut or whatever in on the original Tremors. So it was all about the him doing these little
videos
like survival videos on this is how they call them gravoids. They didn't have a name for them on Tremors, which I like better, which they didn't know they was aliens, mutations. They didn't know what they was.
Right.
So they kind of got a name for them. They call them gravoids. See, all those series went on so far that I think they went to the far as to make them like endangered species or something like that.
Yeah.
And they was trying to protect them on one. I'm like, what are we doing here? I thought y'all wanted to kill them.
Was that the series or the?
I think so. I can't remember.
Because it was either the third or the fourth one.
It was like it was like they had like a theme park or something with them or something. It was like a Jurassic Park or something. So they kind of went a Jurassic Park route with it. And then they had one the ass blasters.
Oh man.
So we was looking for some of that.
Yeah.
And we kind of got. They tried. It was very, very cheaply made. They tried to make a monster horror movie. They had what's the Napoleon Dynamite name?
John Heder.
He was in there as I guess your. He actually wasn't the main character. He was like this. He basically played a character he always played. Yeah, the character he always played, kind of cowardly, but still, So we had the story is basically a hunter decided to create some gravoids, put them on the island, and charge people
who was
to
also
hunt
the
them.
CEO of a biotech firm.
Yeah, why they even need that? That was his whole thing. He decided to make gravoids, put them on the island, and charge people to hunt them.
Yeah.
The ultimate hunt. And I'm looking like, and the weapons they was using was like, do you not know what you're dealing with?
Like, so he explicitly went out of his way to make a more dangerous graboid.
Yeah, they genetically altered it to it to be more dangerous.
Yeah. And then he decided to use these in a hunt, like he set up a trophy hunt, got a bunch of, Silicon Valley executives to pay money to come out here, and then didn't shell out the money necessary to take out these things. Like, he was surprised when he found out they killed one.
Yeah.
Like, also, he didn't know enough about graboids to know the first thing about the Shriekers or anything. It seemed like he don't know nothing about them.
And it's so funny. It like none of that made sense. I mean, I guess they made sure that. I mean, they show you that character's unstable. What was his name?
I don't remember.
I thought you knew his
it
real
was
name.
Bill what was it? Something Brake, like Thomas Brake.
Okay. Well, yeah, he's like a survival nut or whatever. And the thing is, I'm looking like, why wouldn't you know everything? Don't make sense about the character.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you know everything about your prey if you like this ultimate hunter?
Not only everything about your prey because you're the ultimate hunter, but everything about the organism that you created.
Yeah.
Like, he made this thing what it is, and he's not aware of any of its, like, particularities or anything.
Right. So they had some things like reproducing and all that, and he didn't even know, like, what was that?
Like, you've got Shriekers. Oh, really?
Yeah. That's what it killed me, and it's funny that we trying to make sense out of this, but it killed me that the weapons they had, they were shooting like arrows at things. It's
Arrows and
underground.
trank darts.
Right? You know it's underground. You shooting. You got a hunting rifle, arrows and stuff. Nothing's gonna penetrate the dirt.
Yeah. Like, even like they had set up these ballistas.
And I'm not an expert, but I know that.
Right. So you've got these ballistas with what are effectively giant trank darts. And it's like, even the one they managed to hit managed to get far enough away that they couldn't even tell that it was moving above ground anymore.
Yeah, which they travel underground. They only come up to, I guess, feed or whatever. But the thing is, they shooting it while it's underground. And it's like you're not going to hit it. How you not know that? You know what I'm saying?
Like, I guess their idea was to get it to the point where it was starting to come up. So, like, to the point where it's displacing the dirt, like, that you can actually see at the surface, which means it's probably only a couple of feet deep. But even then, you're trying to drive wooden stakes.
It's stupid. So I'm just like,
This
not only you
movie is
did that,
stupid.
but you don't have the damn weaponry to actually take them out. You know what I'm saying? They'd be better off shooting from a helicopter or something, shooting missiles from a helicopter or something. You know,
But that wouldn't have been a satisfying hunt.
what's the difference? You still just shooting it.
See, you say that, but you and me ain't dumb enough to go in for this.
Yeah. So I mean, we already knew where this was going. It was a lot of cliche tropes they used where they had people basically cannon fodder.
Yeah.
And you knew all the bad guys or hunters or whatnot would be all the hunters would be the guys that they would take out, the guys that would be easy to would be the what they call them sacrifices, or we already know this is going it's got to be some people that's just going to get killed, right?
Of course.
So these are the guys because they was all douchebags. But we got the nice people that was on the island that was there for some save the animal stuff, or what was they there for?
I don't know.
David Hayter
they were
not David Hayter. What's his name? John
Heater.
Heater and whoever that lady was.
Yeah. But whatever.
They was there for something
Like,
positive.
So like I get the idea that they worked for the company that what's
right.
his name
But
owned.
they was like saving animals,
But
or
like
something.
because they were
We'll just say
tracking
save animals.
tracking an elephant. So like I guess they were like tracking like endangered wildlife populations or something.
Probably something
Whatever.
like that.
They were on
Something
some
good.
humanitarian stuff, and then on the next island over, their boss was out like, "Let's go trophy hunting with these animals I just made in a test tube."
Yeah, well, so that's and that's we already see where it's going. So
Yep.
and it was like, okay, it's an okay setup. They did like they stole a lot of ideas from movies.
Yeah,
So they
the
took
whole plot.
Wow, they took the Jurassic Park when he took I can't think it was a Velociraptor. One of the things chased the guy in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about? And killed him in the Johnny on the Spot or whatever.
Yep.
They stole that scene. They stole scenes from Predator. They stole scenes, and then they had the nerve.
They called it out.
They called it out. They stole scenes, and then they go, "Ooh, it's just like Predator." They stole scenes from Godzilla. They stole scenes from, I don't know, man, what countless movies.
Yeah.
And they stole scenes from Rambo.
Yeah.
It's like,
Look, if there were monsters or it happened in a jungle, they stole something
shameless.
from it. Like, completely.
Man, they even took the Predator. They took the heat vision POV shot.
Yeah.
And they like the Predator. Like, maybe, I guess, should you forgive them if they call it out because they admit they doing it?
The first time, maybe. But like when that becomes your whole like MO is, okay, we're gonna steal from a movie, but then we're gonna call it out, right? Like,
Dude,
ugh.
I would have felt better if this was just a cheap, bad movie where this was cheap, but it wasn't so cheap that it wasn't like an Asylum movie where it was just the special effects were so bad it's funny, It just wasn't good.
You know what? Like this movie would have been so much more watchable if it was bad and fun.
That's what I'm saying. I was figuring it was going to be fun and we could just like make fun of it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't even fun.
It was just
boring.
it was a competently made bad movie.
Yeah, they stole a lot of stuff. And I guess we could talk about the actors in there. Well, like you said, John Heater was basically himself.
Yeah.
He was all right, but he was a supporting role. Michael Gross had the main character role.
Yeah.
He getting too damn old for this because when he was running, it was like he had a real slow jog. He had a real slow jog when when he ran away from the thing. It's like, dude, you're not going to get away from nobody running that damn slow. You know,
Like, that's the thing. Is
which
like,
I don't like. They couldn't even afford a stunt double.
there were even scenes like where everyone else is running, and then you'll have one person who just casually strolling.
Well, I mean, he probably can't. He's probably like, he's got to be about 70. He got to be at least in the 60s.
I mean, if
late
it was
60s.
just him, sure, but it's like everybody is like,
Yeah.
like folks will just not realize that they're supposed to be running.
I don't know, but they had characters in there that they would show, and they didn't have no lines. As we know, remember, we turned off that they had a black dude in the background that
Who never spoke.
he never said not one word in the whole movie.
But you know what? He knew
And-
that, which is why he had the most expressive face in
He
this
had
whole
the most
movie.
expressive faces, and every time something happened, he was like, "What? Oh man!" He didn't even say, "Oh man," you know what I'm saying?
Even when he was exerting himself, he wasn't allowed to do that. It was like he'd be running like,
They couldn't let brother man say like, "Oh man, it's whack, y'all. I'm going to go back home" or something like
you know,
that.
he couldn't
say
even get a
nothing.
look out.
right.
You
He couldn't
know,
get no token black. Oh man, this some bullshit. You know, he couldn't even get no token black words. No,
you know,
they didn't let him
like,
say
they
nothing.
didn't let in, like the only ethnic character who had any lines was the black chick that was with the hunters, and the Hispanic chick that was with the preservationists. Like they're the only ones who got any lines who wasn't white.
Yeah.
Like I hate
Well, I
to
mean,
call
they
them
had
out.
people in the background, but that was like, they had an Asian chick there, and they didn't give her no lines either. I think she said like one line early
that.
on, and later they was carrying all the equipment. Nobody else was carrying the equipment
Yep.
except the damn black dude and the Asian lady.
Yeah.
No, I was like, okay, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Y'all could have gave him something, dog. That was just like, okay.
You know,
But-
so like but pretty much like the only real characters you need to really keep track of in this movie for any length of time, you have Burt Gummer, wasn't that his name?
I guess.
You know, and Richard Brake, who played the twisted CEO hunter dude,
Yeah.
and he was just doing his usual bit, being slimy.
Right, but see, it was like, I guess they want to show that he was crazy, but I'm like, he always said, "I never lose," or blah blah blah, and I'm looking like, if you're not crazy, then how do you not know you can't kill this thing?
Yeah,
They had him use all his weapons and get down to a handgun and still refuse to leave.
like after he already designed this thing to be unkillable.
Yeah, it was just, and I don't know why we even trying to make sense out of a movie like this.
This is what happens when you make a movie like this and you don't embrace the ridiculous
Right,
nature of the
you
film.
get nothing.
You make it seem like a real movie, and so we're thinking about it like it's a real movie, but it clearly isn't. Like,
Just make it ridiculous.
just make it ridiculous, make it dumb and fun. That's all you got to do. You made a Tremors movie, okay?
It wasn't fun. It was a hard watch. It was an hour and 40 minutes. First off, too
Yeah.
long. Too long for something like this. You make this an hour and 25 minutes. It should be an hour and 20 minutes with the credits, hour and 28 minutes.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
max.
saying?
Max.
Right. This was an hour and 42 minutes, and that felt like 2 hours
Like-
and 50. It felt long.
For one thing, when you got a plot like this, you already like this is already a ridiculous plot to even sell to somebody.
Yeah.
You should not give people time to check their watch. You should
Yeah.
not either keep them
A
distracted.
movie like this would have been good kills, stupid characters with good kills where
Yeah.
you couldn't wait for them to go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And,
Yes,
and
exactly.
kills where it was
Exactly.
like the dude that went in the bathroom, he should have been shitting and flew up in there like, oh, and blew up or something. I'd have been down for that.
like, because like there's no reason to like handle this like it's a real horror flick or a real action flick.
Exactly, and they tried to, and they
You know,
failed
this-
miserably.
This should be like the monster movie version of a Thousand Ways to Die in the West. That's what this should have been.
Yeah.
Like just look, we've got a dumb ass plot for you.
Right.
We can make it really
And
fun.
when somebody give the speech of how they gonna, and then have a Tremor just pop up and grab his
Yes.
ass, stuff like that.
Yeah, like-
I'm cool with.
Like there was like when what was the character's name? Ishii. He was the tough looking, ambiguously Asian dude that was with him
At the beginning.
At the beginning,
They didn't give him that
Like,
one line either.
the way he went
At
out,
least it said, "Watch out."
like the way he went out, like I would have played that for laughs.
Yeah.
Right. So like he's getting ready to square up with one of the shriekers, and another one comes out and gets him from the side.
Yeah.
Like I would have subverted that, made that stuff funny, because like there's no reason to handle this movie seriously.
Yeah, that really messed this movie up, man. But yeah, it wasn't even good. It wasn't funny. It wasn't. It's like they tried to take themselves serious, and yeah, that was a huge mistake.
Yeah.
And I didn't enjoy it that much, man. I watched it and I barely finished it, but I did for y'all. And I recommend for y'all not to even bother. Don't waste your time. You know, it's other stuff on Netflix. But if you're a fan, I guess you might. If you like Michael Gross, you would like it because it was a send off for him.
Like if you're just like, if they can't release a Tremors movie that you won't watch, you go right ahead and watch it. I'm not going to stop you. But if you scrolling through Netflix one day and you happen to see this movie and you said, should I watch this? Remember what the Epic Entertainment critics said and miss it. Just skip that because it ain't worth your time.
Yeah. So that is our review for. Oh wait, Hot Garbage.
Hot Garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hot Garbage.
I mean, I'm not gonna give it a
very well crafted piece of hot garbage.
I'm not gonna give a big soliloquy of why it's hot garbage. You already know this is hot garbage. It's because I would have made it fun, hot garbage. It would have been like something I can, but it wasn't fun. It wasn't funny. It was not even worth making fun of. It's just bad.
Cause like I don't know if you ever did this, but like back when when Blockbuster and whatnot was still around, going to the movie store and going to the VOD section and finding a dumb, ridiculous, bad movie to watch.
Yeah, I did it. I did this. That was a thing.
That was a thing, and I would be pissed if I saw this in the VOD section after seeing this movie because it don't belong there.
Well, the VOD section was cheaper.
Yeah.
So you kind of know what you're getting.
Yeah, it's like
because new movies was like $3 and VOD movies like $2 for $1.
Yeah,
so it's like, shit, you better get one of them VOD movies.
Get you a dumb VOD movie.
And most of the stuff when it first come out be gone anyway by the time you get to Blockbuster.
Yeah. So it's like, well, look, we can make a night of watching this dumb ass flick and clowning on it, and we can have fun with that, and then we'll have something to talk about tomorrow. Let's just do that. So this ain't that movie.
Yeah. So anyway, that's our review for Tremors. Don't see it. We're gonna go ahead and wrap up. Thanks for checking out the podcast, and if you like our videos and if you enjoy our reviews, subscribe to the channel.
Definitely
subscribe to the channel, and when you do hit the bell icon, then you can get some alerts every time that we post new videos or we live stream.
And definitely make sure you set that to all, not personalized. If you set it to personalized, you may not get notifications when we go live or when we post a video. Set it to all. Make sure you don't miss nothing. Also, thumbs up any of our videos if you like what we putting out. We'd like to know what works for y'all and what doesn't. And leave a comment down below. Tell us what you thought about this stuff and what you'd like us to do next.
Yes.
And we out.
We are out of here.
Peace.
Peace.